When you've made a career setting land speed records at over 325 miles per hour, how do you keep the thrill alive? Pickleball, of course. She's Valerie Thompson, the queen of speed. I'm Mickle Moore. It's the Pickle with Mickle Interview Series 0. Start. All right. Valerie, I think first we have to agree that we both wimped out on getting together outside on the actual court at your house. I mean, the sun's out today. It's a beautiful day. It's just still cold.
Still cold. This morning it was 39 degrees.
Yeah, 39 degrees out here in beautiful
Oh
Arizona.
no.
And I'm here with Valerie Thompson joining me. I'm so happy you made some time to join me on my little show. It's a great start to the weekend. How are you doing on a Friday?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm off to a great start speaking with you.
Well, again, happy to have you here. I mean, you're the queen of speed. Your accomplishments in motorcycling and motorcycle racing are incredible. It's gained you a lot of fame and earned you a place as one of the sport's all-time greats, right? I will give a few cliff notes. 10-time land speed record holder.
Okay.
Sturgis Hall of Famer. There's,
Correct.
I mean, like 11 things right there that are just awesome enough. Those are just the cliff notes. That's right. You pump yourself up. We're going to get into it. I'm going to let you tell a little bit about
That's
it.
right.
There's a documentary that's still coming in the works that just has an amazing title, right? I mean, Rockets and Titans. That says enough right there because you sit on rockets and you're a titan of the sport. How about that? And I certainly want you to tell that part of the story. But what we're going to get into, and I think what is so amazing is you caught the pickle bug, right? I mean, it only makes sense that the fastest one gets a hold of the fastest growing sport. But let me go ahead, Valerie. Take me back to how it all started and you got the Jones, you got the buzz to ride motorcycles. You've been incredible with that. And then we're going to talk about how you're carrying that passion and you're taking that tenacity right onto the pickle court.
Absolutely. Well, I started my racing career down Scottsdale Road, and if anybody knows me, I always like to be up front. And everybody tried to push me in the back of the pack. I rode with a lot of guys and some females. And somebody told me that I was out of control, that I should take it to the track. And I mean, he made me feel like 2 inches tall. And I got thinking, I told my friend Charlie Mitchell, I said, you know, we are out of control. Let's go to the track. So we did. About 2 months later. I fell in love with the racetrack and I never looked back. I absolutely just thought that this is my place. This is where I need to be. So I started racing a Harley Davidson, my own Fat Boy, which is my street bike. About a few months, like a year later, Harley Davidson of Scottsdale called and said, hey, will you race my V-Rod Destroyer? And I said, absolutely. It was like the it bike to race. It was a full-on Harley Davidson drag bike, 9-second bike that Harley only made a specific amount of bikes. And out of 40 racers in my second year of racing, I placed number 3. I missed number 1 in the Western Division, but only by 7 points.
And that's second year in.
Second year in, yes.
Jeez, okay. And so now we're top 3, 2 years in, riding for Harley. All right.
Yep. And then quickly I moved to the next year. I thought that because I do everything fast, the next year I moved up to the NHRA Drag Racing Series. And I raced a Pro Stock motorcycle with 300 and at the time it was 360. Now they're about 380 horsepower. It's a 6.6 like 9s that they're doing now. And my top speed was 7.06 in a quarter mile. Now they're going over 200 miles per hour, barely over 200.
And what were you topping out at?
My drag racing, I topped out at 190.
Right.
But that was back in 2008. So
well, that was my point.
I mean, they're going faster.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my point. I mean, 12, 15 years ago, you're right under the speed that they're going now with improved technology, little bigger engine in the bike, right? And
Yeah,
but you were setting the trend. You were setting the
absolutely.
speed.
But I was setting blinging down the racetrack because everything I put on was bling. My helmet, my leathers, I had a little bling. I had some Swarovski crystals placed on my helmet.
Well, you can talk about that because, folks, what you can do is also go to Valerie's website at
Yeah,
valeriethompsonracing.com and see some of that bling in the photos. You'll also see, you talk about
yeah,
that red machine. Is that is that the bub that you set the record in? That, I mean, what is it like to sit in there? Now, first of
yes.
all, you introduced me to that person who made you feel a few inches tall, and we'll have a talk because it doesn't matter how tall you are to fit into that machine and then prepare yourself to go as fast as you go in it. I just look at it on the website and go, there's no way she got in there and drove that thing. There's no way anybody gets in that thing because it looks like a rocket.
Absolutely. So it is a rocket, but okay, so I've been on sit-on bikes and I've been racing. After my NHRA experience, the economy crashed, and so did a lot of marketing opportunities. I lost a lot of my sponsorships. And so I had to reinvent myself. And I said, well, I'm going to go land speed racing at the Bonneville Salt Flats, which is located in Utah. And so I started to do that on my sit-on bike. I got me a sponsor, Martech Services company out of, shoot, where were they out of?
You
Anyways,
better
it doesn't
remember.
matter. Like, okay, so I got a motorcycle and I bought a BMW S1000RR, and it's the most incredible bike. I top speed is in a 1 mile stop standing is 217 miles per hour. It's an amazing motorcycle. And to feed
217.
my need for speed, I wanted to go fast. Yeah, 217 miles per hour in a 1 mile. And if you know a sport bike, it's a sport bike, and they like to pop wheelies right away. I mean, but it's all about finessing the throttle. It's like all about finessing your paddle now. But
Yeah,
we'll
we're
get
going to
onto
get
that a
there,
little
but that's
later.
a hell of a segue. But go back to
Yeah, we will.
217 miles an
Yeah.
hour. I mean,
So
that's incredible. That's
217,
fast.
you know what? Absolutely. And the slowdown part is you get probably a quarter mile to a half a mile to slow down out of 200 miles per hour, and you don't know what you're going to end up at. Um, but after I've done that, I set 5 land speed records with that motorcycle, and it's just an amazing bike. I was actually sponsored with BMW Motorrad. And it was a great experience with them, and they enjoyed it. They enjoyed the thrill and the speed, and they were in a new territory with land speed racing. So, bringing them to a land speed racing environment wherein they're a road racing bike was like, okay, they opened up their eyes, and it was a great opportunity. But I wanted more. I knew I always wanted to be. In 2006, I said, I want to be the world's fastest female, period. And
Absolutely. This
so
is
an
it. I'm putting my
opportunity
foot
came up
down
to ride.
and you set the goal to be the fastest woman. Let's do
Yeah,
it. Come on. And at the same time, you're going
I
faster than a
did.
lot of men. Let's go ahead and pat yourself and pump your pump
I,
out your chest and say, "Yo, I'm here." That's right.
well, when a lot of people never did believe in me, they thought that, oh, she's not going to go fast. She's not going to become anyone in the drag racing industry. And it's like, okay, well, maybe my mark wasn't in drag racing. At first it was, but when I started to get into the real high level, which is the top of the level you can get is NHRA Pro Stock. I soon to realize that, I mean, I had an incredible team, and it takes a great team behind, a good racer.
Yeah.
They make us look good. It make us look easy. It makes it look easy, as a rider. But when the
Don't be modest,
opportunity came
Valerie. You
out
make
to
it look
ride the
pretty
Bub,
good.
well, okay, thank you very much. But when the opportunity came up to ride the Bub 7 Streamliner, which is a purposely built vehicle, it's a motorcycle. It's 25 feet long. It's designed to go fast, and it's designed for safety. So those are the two things that it's designed for. And Dennis Manning has been a legend in the land speed racing for motorcycles. He's a legend. And I just had a great opportunity to be with a great team of I think we had about, at the end of the day in Australia, we had about 16 members on our crew. And, my top speed in the motorcycle streamliner was 328 miles per hour in Australia. And then the next day I had a motorcycle crash because we
Yeah.
were going for the gusto. We were going for that 400 mile per hour. The world record by Rocky Robinson is 376 miles per hour.
And you were
And,
328.
we were going for the 400 mile. I was 328 the day before, but I
Right.
was 363 miles per hour with a crash.
Yeah.
I didn't get a
Well,
time slip for the 363 miles per hour, but our data on the computer and everything, all the signs show that it was a 363 mile per hour run.
and what do you think?
And at the end of the day, I could have went like 380 miles per hour if I wouldn't have crashed.
Okay. And so that's kind of my question, not to bring up the crash. However, the difference from
Yeah.
363, 380, right? I mean, it's like you're
Ooh.
watching Maverick and he's going, Mach 10 and he's not going to stop until he gets Mach 11. If you're at 380, 400, it feels like it's right there, or is it like right out there? I mean, 20 miles an hour to most people doesn't seem like a lot, but I think 380 to 400 is
Yeah.
certainly a lot.
It's an amazing amount. I mean, there's not a lot of people ever that get to experience that, what it feels like. And I don't even remember what it feels like. I just know that I have to be perfect. I have to hit my shift buttons on time. I have to, be totally focused. I have to be one with that motorcycle.
Yeah.
So, and I want
Talk
to
a little bit about that.
I want to make my team proud.
Well, yeah, I mean, you mentioned you have a 16 team, crew out there, and in itself, that takes a lot to keep going. It's a lot of people who are helping support
Managed.
the whole mission and manage everything, right?
Yeah.
And then back to yourself, and before you get out on the track and you get to do what you love to do, that mental focus. Talk about a little of that, preparation, some of the technique you've developed over the years, because I know some of that translates right out into pickle.
Absolutely. So, the mental preparation, everything behind closed doors actually is the key to your success going forward, no matter what it is, no matter what sport you do, or even a job. So, the mental preparation is, and just let me remind your fans that
Yes.
I cannot take this motorcycle down the street. I cannot take it to a racetrack and just go fast and straight. I don't have the luxury of getting in the motorcycle and going through my routine every single day.
Right.
There's a routine. You have to do things at certain times. And you have to be perfect. I had a hard, I know we'll get into this later, but while I'm on the subject, but in pickleball, I had a really hard time of accepting that I made a bad shot, because in racing, there is no room for errors. Well, in
Right.
pickleball, there is room for many errors. Okay, not many, but there's room for errors. There's room to wiggle. And so it was really hard on my mental aspect. And my partner, Jim Shields, told me, Valerie, I know what your problem is. You have to be perfect on the racetrack, but you don't have to be perfect on the pickleball court.
You can
So
accept
that
some
really opened up
flaws,
my
right?
eyes with him. I accept my flaws, and on the pickleball court and in racing, there is no room. You might shift a little early, which will take a few miles per hour off, but okay, well, fine. But if you over rev the motor, then guess what? You're going to be eating pistons and a lot of metal in your dinner that night. It's not going to be a pretty sight. And in our Pro Stock motorcycle, you got a $40,000 to $60,000 engine. You could go up and make one run, and that's it. You replace
Yeah.
parts, and hey, you're 20, 30, 40, $50,000, for a new engine. So,
How many would you
anyways,
have,
the mental
extra
preparation is
engines?
really something I'm working on.
as part, or would you just have
Uh,
a full
well, in the
extra
Bub
bike
7, we only have,
of the
no,
Bub
we don't have,
7, but just
those,
typically?
yeah. Well, typically, in the Bub 7, we have two engines, one
Okay.
inside and one on the spare. So in a pro stock motorcycle, yeah, you don't have two bikes. Those bikes are like 250,000 plus engine,
Okay.
$250,000. So
So you've just got
we're
parts,
talking
extra
like high
engines.
level
If
of,
things go
you know,
wrong during a
you just
tour
got
stop or
parts, extra
circuit,
stuff.
yeah, that's why
And
you've got the crew.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you have a spare engine. You have a spare engine ready to go in into the bike. And what we do too is when I was I was a short stint into the NHRA. I never got a chance to really show my potential because when everything happened in 2009, it was just a disaster. But it was a good disaster because it showed that, it changed my life. It changed to where I am now. And being the
Yeah,
world's fastest female on a motorcycle streamliner is definitely a great accomplishment. It's great to be the first to do things first, but it's also hard because there's a lot of people like, okay, well, what are you going to do now? So I
right.
started racing a car after the crash. I started racing a car, and the
Racing them.
world record on the car at the time was, well, it's not your normal car, but it's a 43 feet long Streamliner car that has two Dodge Hemi engines, weighs 9,000 pounds, and is meant to go over 400 miles per hour. I mean, we're talking like that car needed to go over 470 miles per hour in order to set the world record. And so, not the world record, but a record at the
A
Bonneville
record.
Salt
Okay.
Flats. So let me just like clue you all in about the 43 feet, just to put it in perspective of how racing and pickleball go so
I've been out
hand
on
in hand
boats
with
that aren't
me.
that long,
It's just
Valerie. I
amazing.
mean, I've had a great time on like a 30-foot boat, for crying out loud.
So the Target 550 that I last raced, it's 43 feet long, and the pickleball court is 44 feet long. So for the pickleball community, my car is almost as long as the pickleball court. Just
Perfect
take off a
transition
foot
into pickleball. I mean, you're driving a court
and
around, for crying out loud.
add five and add 5,000 horsepower to it. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Try to stay out of the kitchen going 473 miles an hour, folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is awesome. And so, obviously, Valerie, well accomplished. And I appreciate you kind of taking us back down some of that road. And, folks, you can go to the website, you can read all about it. There is still an unfinished documentary, or we're getting closer to it being finished. If you can speak about that as much as you can. I know we talked a little bit about that, but it's got such a cool title, Rockets and Titans. And it was about the
I
journey
know.
of breaking the record. How are we coming along with that? Can you talk about it?
Yes, I can talk about it. It's, with the COVID, it really set everything back. And so, but going forward is that this team that's working on this documentary is, they are so detailed oriented, and we have such an incredible story with our team to share. And I mean, they've been filming us for 4+ years. I keep in touch with the producer, and it's getting close. But what it is about, it's about, the drive, the tenacity of, becoming the best and breaking the world record of 400 miles per hour, and what it takes, what are our setbacks. I mean, when I went to Australia to race, and when we went 328 miles per hour, and when I crashed at 363 miles per hour, we were in Australia, and it's literally in the outback, and it's like one way in and one way out, and
It's
it
like going to
literally
Maricopa.
takes you no cell phone coverage. Yeah, okay. It literally takes you off the cuff. Like when I crashed, my parents found out that I crashed um, from social media. So I wasn't able to call them. I wasn't able to phone home and say, "Hey, I crashed, just FYI." But it was hot. It was like, you're living in a trailer in a coach that is like, you can't run the AC because we only have a certain amount of gas and fuel.
Right.
We want to get back to civilization. And it literally takes you off the cuff, of, 2.5 hours to go down a one-way road that is so many whoops and bumps and turns, and you're, like I said, you're in the outback, literally. And you're there with snakes, kangaroos, and those
Everybody.
little flies out there, they love
They're
human
nasty.
beings. They like to bite you.
They're
They
worse
don't
than
want your
mosquitoes,
food, they
right? Those
want your
flies. I've
blood.
heard about those. I've heard about
Oh,
those flies. They're worse
they
than
are.
any mosquito we get around here, and I don't like mosquitoes.
So I took a picture with a fan, and he was a youngster, and on the picture I literally had a fly on my tooth.
Glamour
Like,
shot.
I didn't know it was there because I was smiling, and I can't say I swallowed it, but I didn't know it was there until I saw the picture. So
Oh, that's fantastic. But let's bring it full circle now. So, we step back a little away from racing,
okay,
though you're always going to be prominent in the sport, and that's always going to be a
yeah,
part of your life. And I think it's awesome. You mentioned you've done
yeah.
so many, big name podcasts and news shows and been in magazines. And thank you so much for getting on the court with me. It's Pickle with Mickle Interview Series, and I'm here
Mm,
with Valerie Thompson. And we're going to talk now
yeah.
how the Queen of Speed found the fastest growing sport. She
Mm.
got the pickle bug, folks. And when she gets something, like she has said, she gets into it. She goes fast at it. She attacks it. And she has, oh, go ahead.
Are you there?
I am. Are you there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
I can. You good?
Okay, I'm good. Yeah.
All right. No problem. And so now it's pickleball, and pickleball has become a big part of your focus, and really want to become a pro's pro. It's how I first met you. We were down at the Pickle Mall playing
Yes.
in the league there, and you stepped in for a friend to play in the playoffs. You were a little under the weather, and you went ahead and said that your game was a little off. But I've seen you play a few times since. I mean, you went out, you built the court up at the house in the yard where folks, this is where we were supposed to do the interview, was out on the lovely court at Casa de Thompson at the palatial estate of Valerie, the Queen of Speed. However, as we mentioned in the intro, we're wimps. It's cold outside. And so we're going remote.
That's right.
And so we've talked about how the mental toughness can translate into pickleball. And we also talked about how, as you started to play, you quickly found out, big slice of humble pie, it's not such a fast acceleration into that pro level and into a mastery of the game.
Absolutely. I learned quick. I thought I could be a pro in a couple of years, like I did my racing career. In a couple of years, you could be, at your top level, and I was, but it's not that easy in pickleball. And the difference too is that you're using your body, you're using everything. I mean, the number one thing in racing is it's mental. It's 90% mental. Well, I'm gonna say that pickleball is like 95 plus mental. But you're not in a capsule, you're not on a sit-on bike, and it's completely different. I get to relax, and I get to like enjoy myself when I'm inside the cockpit or on a sit-on motorcycle going over 200 miles per hour. But when you're on the pickleball court, it's quite different. You hear chatter, you hear, your inner voice, you hear your angel, and then you got your devil. It's like,
That's
okay,
right.
yes, do it, do it, do it. Hit that shot, slam it, and it's like
That's right.
out.
Yep. Drive it. Drive it. It's open. It's open.
Yeah, exactly. So
And so
it quite
you
humbled me.
But now the pursuit, we're not going to lose pursuit. I saw you down. You were playing at the Pickle Puppies tournament, which was awesome. And then now you played out at Desert Ridge. Talk about that experience. You've played in other pro tournaments. Was that your first PPA tournament associated, or had you played in a PPA or before?
No, I've been in PPA. I love the PPA tournaments. I love all the tournaments. I'll do a tournament if I have the right partner. And now I'm a lot more wiser on choosing partners and partner up with people. So no, I definitely my biggest accomplishment was PPA at the JW Marriott, because I got to play 5-0 with a 17-year-old Tanner, and he's from Oregon, and he said that I lost my partner. Will you be my partner? So I had to do some switching and some, like some deep thinking, like, am I ready for this? Can I do this? And once I committed and once I did it, I said, I belong here. Now all I have to do is train harder to get there and to
Nice.
play consistently in that level. It was so nice. Coming from 3-5 to 4-0, which I play, depending on the partner. Going one more big leap because I do everything fast and I do everything forward.
Yeah, you want
It
to
it
get to
really
that next
reminded
level.
me
You
of
want
I
to
want to get that
that
next
next
level.
move. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. And I want to do it quick, but I am also enjoying the journey. I'm a person that I really strive on mastering one thing at a time. And so now I just want to stop mastering. I feel like I have the masters. I have everything that I have the toolbox and I have the toolbox in here. So now all I need to do is apply the toolbox, all my shots, all the things, all the tools that I need at the right time. I need to apply that and I need to start playing at a higher level. And it's definitely a challenge, but I have a lot of work still to get there.
Well, and you mentioned that, and I think it's important. You've got the tools in the toolbox, you've got mental toughness, you stay fit. And we'll talk about how you do that from a physical standpoint, because you did mention, yeah, you do got to cover the court. It's not a tennis court, but it is 44 feet long, and there's a little space that you got to move, and you need some quickness, right? And where are you at with the game
Yeah.
right now? You mentioned tournaments and partners. When are you going to slum it, come back down to around a 3-5 with this guy, and we'll go play in a tournament and we'll go win it? Come on.
Well, you know what? There's so many sandbaggers out there. So when you go to the one of the golden tickets, we can play 3-5 or whatever. Because there's so many sandbaggers and it's so disappointing. I mean, I went to my last nationals in Texas. Yeah, it was Texas, right?
Last year. Yeah.
Yeah, last year. So
It's going to be in Mesa
and
this
I'm a
year.
three. I play singles. I know, and I'm going to enjoy that. So I play singles, I play doubles, and I play mixed doubles. And sometimes if I can find, two mixed double partners and which the levels play on 2 different days, I will do it. So at the
Nice.
JW Marriott, I literally played in 4 brackets, two mixed doubles, one women's doubles, and singles. So I'm truly a
Anything
5
half-assed,
five
folks. I mean,
player.
4 different brackets. And not even Anna Lee
Oh.
Waters played she could only play in 3. And you're playing double tournaments in one tournament. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
well, she lasted a lot longer than I did.
Hey, but you're having fun out
I
there. I
just
was
snorted.
watching you, and it's competitive. I was watching. I mean, there were some good games. I was watching you play, and that's the whole point. Is back to the
Yeah,
tools in the toolbox, mental toughness. It's the repetition and just executing the strokes, and that's what I talk to my friends about. I'm like, we need to go practice. Let's just go play dink games. Let's go play that 7-11 game and get up to the net and work on it. And everybody just wants to play, 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 play. If I want to move from 3-5 to 4,
yeah,
it's the repetition, it's the practice. And that's where I look to keep doing that a little more consistently for my own game.
yeah, absolutely. It's truly amazing the conversion from racing and to pickleball. And I say that, I'm 55, 56 years old, and pickleball has given me a second opportunity to be, another athlete in my life. So I started
Absolutely.
racing when I was 38. And I started playing pickleball 3 years ago. And so, it's like another chance to be another athlete in my life. Well, how many
Isn't
people
that
can
cool?
say that they've even been one athlete? How many people can say they've been, like, I mean, there's a couple of athletes out there. I mean, they got tennis and they're going or they played baseball or they played, and then they go into pickleball. I'm not saying
Sure.
it's just me, but it's truly been a blessing. I
Well, for
like
you,
it. I love
you
it. And,
found it. You can see the passion that you have even when you talk
yeah.
about it. You can see the passion when you play, because as we talked about, even when you're out there on the court and maybe you hit one in the net or you do go for that shot, you have to stay positive, right? I mean, that is so important. Or the next thing you know,
Absolutely.
that little bit of negative energy, your opponent has 5 points in a row on you, and you're like, what the hell just happened to this game?
When the devil speaks and the angel speaks, it's like they're fighting against each
Right.
other. And then in my
Smash it,
mind,
take
I'm
it.
like, oh, I got to be Valerie.
So how much now do we devote to pickleball during the day? In a regular day, or is it just a few days during the week? Let's talk to me about that.
So I've been really trying to get to the next level. I've really been trying to just becoming a better player, a better partner. I play 6 days a week, maybe seven, and a couple times a day. And I'm
Awesome.
always up for a match. I'm always up for, hey, Valerie, I have my own court. I mean, after the eighth time I played pickleball, I said, I want to be better than, I want to be better. And I want to, I want a coach. And now I want to play every day.
You want to plug
And,
your coach? Do you have a coach? Did you
I
get a
thought that,
coach?
yeah, I did. Jack Thomas, which is the former president of the USA Pickleball Association, he was my very first coach.
That's a good plug.
And then he moved away on me.
Oh, he took off.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
So
Florida?
he moved
Texas?
and he moved to Oklahoma with his family.
Oh, Oklahoma. Okay.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's growing. Big
But I
pickle
still
scene.
keep in touch with him. Yeah. And I told him I wanted him to be like my first partner I ever wanted to play with. And I still want to play with Jack in a tournament. But he was a great mentor, and he shows up when he comes to my tournaments, or when he comes to a tournament, he shows up on my court with him and his wife Joan, and it's like, oh, thank you.
That's so awesome. That's so great. Look, hey, you've got a court. I'm always looking for a game. So we know how to get a hold of each other. When you need a partner, I'll
Yeah.
come up there. I'll run you around on the singles court, keep you sharp. But let's talk
Oh,
about also,
I definitely need that.
I do too. I need to work on my game. We talk about, and I think we see it, especially you see it out at tournaments all the time, but even at smaller tournaments or even at just the local parks where you go to play, how pickleball is coming into the community. I know, Valerie, for you, as you continue the quest to be, as I like to, you're a pro, but I like to say the pro. But you also like to, empower women through your story as well. I mean, talk about that a little bit. That's always been a big part of your own journey, is pushing back the doubters, breaking through some barriers, and now here you are.
I have a great 20-year experience of doing marketing, promoting my sponsors, signing autographs, taking photos, and talking with, you know, and speaking on at schools, and going to different events and being, a speaker. I'm not the greatest speaker, but I get my point across and they love it. But truly, to give back, to do a sport that you love and to give it back to other people, to be like,
Yeah.
Valerie, I said I want to be like you. I'm like, okay, well, you can do this. Just never give up. Just keep doing it. Like, I mean, I gave up twice in my racing career, where I took all my helmets down, which my helmets are like my trophies. My helmets mean so much to me. And right now I have them on a nice pedestal, and I will never take them down, because if
But
I
you went
take
through
them down, that
you went through
means,
a
I mean,
funk or something, and you
I
just
went
wanted
through a
nothing to
funk,
do with
and
it, and said, "Let's get him out of here."
absolutely. My friend Tom McDermott told me, Valerie, get those helmets back up there now. Do not give up. And he wrote on some corkscrews about what I need to do, on 5 different corkscrews that he gave to me, because once in a while I like a little wine back in the days. Now I
All
watch
right,
my
what's wrong with that?
intake on any of that, right? So, but he wrote on some corkscrews of what I need to do. It's like, and I still have them. I'm so sentimental. I even have I have my first ball I ever hit with, which is an onyx ball. I have all 3 balls, and I have them in the case. It says 1 through 3. And I wrote on there, this is my
That's
first ball, and this
great.
is my second ball, and this is my third ball I ever hit. I still have it. So I still have the wine cork. So getting back to how I'm in sentimental on things. Um, and it's like, I'll never forget him to tell me, get those helmets back up there. And I did, and it gave me the fire and the desire. And I'm glad I never gave up. And so if I could give that back to people, it doesn't matter. I'm a good mentor, even to men, in the racing community. I have people reaching out to me all the time and saying, Valerie, like, I'm going through this, I'm doing this, and what should I do? And, sponsorship stuff. And I've helped so many people in my career. And I love to give back, and doing a sport that you love, and or to give back is like, it's the greatest feeling.
I think you're absolutely right. And as the sport of pickleball continues to grow the way it is, not just here but across the country, I think you're in a great position to be able to give that
Uh-huh.
back and start to even continue to play at that next level the way you want to do. And it's an awesome part of your
Yeah.
story. So let me ask you this: what paddle are you swinging right now? What's the stick of choice for Valerie Thompson?
Well, I've been a big Gearbox fan from day one. And
Big Gearbox
so
fans
I've
here.
tried so many paddles. I have tried so many paddles. I love paddles. I love shoes. Okay. My paddle, when somebody tells me the
It's
best
almost a
thing
great
about playing
segue.
pickleball is like, oh, they
No,
say, that's a
about
great
shoes.
shot. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful shot, Valerie. Yeah, I know, right? And they say that's a beautiful shot, Valerie. And what I say is my paddle tells me I'm beautiful every day.
It doesn't talk back.
So getting back to my choice of the paddle I hold in my hand is the Gearbox. It's the Pro powered, elongated, the new one that just came out, and I
Nice.
love it. I'm a girl of speed. I love the power. I love how much horsepower I can race with. I love to have a
Well, and
powerful paddle in my hands.
that's the paddle that everyone says has the pop. Look, Gearbox is great. I spoke with Raphael right on my show last year when I really first started getting going. I met him out at
Mhm.
the tournament in Mesa, and he was kind enough to make some time and come
Okay.
on and talk to me. He talked about paddles and delamination. Great, interesting guy. And you mentioned it. There's a lot of
Yeah.
paddles that you can play with out there. I've been playing with the Mavericks paddle a lot. I recently started swinging the Proton paddle, local company here in town. And there's a lot of choices. I think it comes down to
Mhm.
what feels good for you, what plays right for you. I think the most important thing, people, is you got to get out and play some pickleball, for crying out loud. Now, Valerie, are you ready to jump off the court a little bit? We're
Yeah.
gonna have a little fun. You ready? We're gonna wind it down. It's a Friday after all. She
Okay,
looks
I'm
she looks
ready.
nervous. She looks nervous, but she looks like she's ready to have a little fun. So we'll start it off easy, easy peasy, lemon breezy. In town is the little thing called the
Perfect.
Phoenix Open this weekend. Will you go to the Open or any social Open related activities, or do you just stay away from that monstrous, crazy crowd now?
Only go once, and I'm going today.
You're going today, so you are going a little later today. All right. Now, will you be in a posh Valerie
And
luxury
then I'm going to
box
play
type
pickleball
setting?
afterwards.
Where do you sit at the Open, or
I
do
will.
you
Yes.
wander?
No, I don't wander because I don't want to be amongst all those young drunks. Sorry.
There's only a few of them out there. There's just a
I'm
few.
there's only a few, but there's quite a few. I'm just lucky I could get back home and get in my car and then drive and get home safe.
Absolutely. Well, while you're out there, stay safe. Friday isn't the total day of crazy. Saturday, stay away. Just folks, look, they call it the biggest party on tour.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's the biggest disaster on Saturday. There's 150,000 people out there, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm playing pickleball and on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm playing pickleball at Pickle Mall because even though I
When?
have my own court, we're expected to have some rain, so I'm
Are you
going to
going down to
Pickle
Pickle
Mall.
Mall tonight? Do I need to come down there? Do I get an invite?
No, I'm going. I'm playing today at 4 to 6.
That's not open play. Is that a league thing?
No, it's a purpose. We're playing with purpose. We have a girl team of four, and so we're just gonna
Ooh.
go play. But on
Oh,
Sunday,
nice.
no, Saturday I'm playing open play, and so I'm playing with my partner that I'm gonna play with in an upcoming event. So
All right. Well, I need a rain check to Pickle Mall or up at the Casa de Thompson court so we can get some dinks and some drops in there and
yes,
work on our game. So now that we warmed up with the easy question, folks, you can look for Valerie out there at the Phoenix Open, Waste Management Phoenix Open only today. Don't try to find her Saturday. She's smart. She ain't gonna be
only
out there on
today.
Saturday.
I will only be there for a short time, but I told my girlfriend, I said I have to be home by 3 because I have to be at Pickle Mall at 4.
So this girlfriend, she's not at part of the pickle crew. She's just heading out to the Open with you.
No, she is. She's a part of a pickleball community, and she's one of the girlfriend. Her boyfriend, Walter, I played, and that's who I started to play with, and that's my very first taste of pickleball was through my friends Walter, Keith, and Christine, and Wendy, and
Nice.
and I text my friend Wendy every day, like every year. I'm like, I'm on my 2-year anniversary with you. I'm on my 3-year anniversary, and so it's been 3 years since I've been playing
Isn't that great?
pickleball.
All right. So we're close
Yeah,
to the
it's
same age.
absolutely
I
fun.
mean, you're about to turn 50 and I'm a little over 50. So I'm going to take you back to
Yeah,
maybe when you were, a young lady, Tom Selleck, Burt Reynolds, Lee Majors.
Tom Selleck, Burt Reynolds, or Lee Major.
Which one would be more of a
I
crush?
would have to say Tom Selleck.
Tom
Tom
Selleck?
Selleck.
Oh, yeah. Magnum, right? I mean, come
Yeah,
on. Favorite band
yeah.
way back
I
then?
like the dark hair. I
You
like.
like that dark hair?
Okay.
Well,
Uh-huh.
favorite band? What kind of music you like?
I love techno. I am 100%
What? You're
techno.
one of
And yep, I love the techno. I was a techno dancer on a dance team, consisted of 8 of us. And I used to dance to some pretty fast beats up
Yeah.
on the stage. And I've actually been on the stage with some concerts as, the fly girl in the background
Is
back
this
in my
findable? Can
Washington
my
days.
crack
But
research team find this? Is this still out on the interweb anywhere?
no, back in those days we didn't have internet. We didn't have
That's true.
the phone, the cell phones. It was
Is this on
only your
Laserdisc
landline.
somewhere?
But yeah, that music is my most amazing music. And when I get in my car, it is like it's like a concert in my car. My speakers, and the music is so nice and it's so loud. Even my watch tells me loud environment,
That's great. Why? I
because
mean, you could
that's
thump it in
that's my
that car.
mental preparation to get to the court. My
Is it just
mental
a?
preparation is my music to get to the court.
I hear you. I mean, I'm always a big fan of, what's the
Besides,
soundtrack in your life today, right? I've always got something playing in my head.
yeah. And my other mental preparation is to paint my nails. I don't know if you can see them, but
I can
they
see
are
those.
chrome gold.
I like it.
So I have gold on my toes and I have gold on my hands because
Going for
I'm
gold.
thinking fast forward is gold medals.
Going
And
for
that's
gold.
all I want. I
Going
want,
for gold.
like, of course I enjoy the silver and the bronze, but if I can
Gold.
have some gold to match my fingers, gold.
I like it. Are you playing out in Mesa?
I am.
All
Yes.
right. So next tournament will be. Do you have any
I got
tournaments in
singles,
between
doubles, and it's-
and mix? Okay. Any tournaments
yeah,
between now and
I've
then?
got quite a few.
When's the
Yes,
next
I've
one?
got probably like 3 tournaments.
When's your
The
next
next
tournament? Yeah, go
one
ahead.
is it's in a surprise at the no surprise at the Cocopella event. It's just one day. It's on
All
the
right.
18th, I believe.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
big one at Mesa, folks. Mesa out here at the Legacy
Big
Courts.
one.
Got to get out there. It's a PPA MLP weekend. Come find Valerie out there, watch her play. Back to some fun. You can have a superpower for 3 hours. What do you want?
I want to be Superwoman.
Ooh, that's a lot of power. I like it. Superwoman for
That's a lot.
3 hours,
It's
Valerie
like when
Thompson.
I put my helmet on. When I put my helmet on, I can be whoever I want to be. But when my visor goes on, I go, it's high octane.
Right?
But
That's that
I could
mentality for
be
the pickle
anyone.
court, right?
At
You
the
get
moment,
out
I'm
there,
invisible.
it's 0-0
I could be
start. You're like, you got to
Superwoman
think that
because
visor's
I
coming
can be
down.
everywhere.
That's right. Now, you've
Well, yeah,
traveled
my
a lot.
visor goes down on my helmet. I can be whoever I want to be, and that would be Superwoman.
Awesome. I like it. Now, you've traveled a lot all over the country. You've traveled to other countries, of course. Where have you not been
Yep.
that you want to go?
I want to go to Iceland. I want to go
Ah,
into the I want to sit in the Blue Lagoon.
very cool. Very cool.
I want to get in the water and I want to paint myself with the sand and I want to put it on my body because the sun exposure to our skin is like there's a lot of bad stuff that goes on our skin. So I don't know. I just want to rest, and I love the cold plunges, and I love to do that. But I also want to go to Iceland to do that.
That would be awesome. Iceland is on a list for me. I have not been to Iceland. Do you have a cold plunge at home? Are you a cold plunger? You do that a couple times a day or twice a day?
I have a cold plunger. Yes, yes. It's called the pool. It is so
Perfect.
cold.
It is
But
right
I
now.
also go to Lifetime Fitness. I go to Lifetime Fitness at the Fashion Square, and they have a cold plunge too. So I get to use
Awesome.
theirs.
So we talked about the importance of diet. We talked about how you like a little vino, even though it might be a little lesser now these days. Would it be red or white when you're drinking
Yes,
wine? Red or white?
I like white. I like both because I like white when I have sushi, and I like red when I have meat.
See that, folks? She knows how to pair it. She knows what she's doing. She's the queen of
Yeah.
speed, for crying out loud. And you think she
It's
doesn't
not so
know how to
often
have red
anymore, but
wine with her meat? Come on. Now,
it's
junk
it's
food.
once in a blue moon that I will have it. But Oprah Winfrey interviewed this old lady, and she says, "Well, how do you stay so young?" And she goes, "Honey, I drink a little oh shoot, I missed my mark. Darn
You
it.
gotta.
Okay. I drink a little Jesus juice." She goes, "I drink a little Jesus juice."
Just have a
And
little
that was
Jesus
the red
juice.
wine
That's
to
right. A
stay
little red
young.
wine. Just a little.
She called it Jesus juice. I I
Keep you
like
young.
Pinot Noir. I'm a Pinot
Oh,
Noir
nice
drink.
Pinot. All right.
Yeah,
Hey,
keep me young.
what is your go-to or
I always said
must?
I feel like,
I was going to say your
what's
go-to
that?
or must-have junk food.
Chippies, Costco chippies, the Himalayan salt chippies.
Nice, nice. Are
I
you a
like
coffee
some salt
drinker?
in my diet too.
Are you a coffee drinker?
I like a little shot of espresso in the morning.
Iced
Yes,
or hot?
one little shot of espresso in the morning. A
Traditional
hot
hot?
in the morning.
Nice. One in the morning. Okay. So sticking in the
Yeah.
morning, let's say, you've got the time. We're not rushing to the court for Pickle. We don't have an awesome podcast interview that we have to get ready for. What would be your favorite breakfast?
My favorite breakfast is um I like to eat super healthy, but I love fruit, and I like some oatmeal.
Ooh, all right. So nice oatmeal, maybe with some strawberries or bananas on it or something like that, or blueberries even.
Absolutely. And then I love pineapple, so I always have pineapple on the side because the more sweets I eat, the sweeter I am.
Oh, she's a sweet gal though, folks. So you better watch out. Don't let that. I saw that. I got you. Don't let that sweetness fool you though. She's a killer on the court. She's a killer on the court. Now, I'll get you out of here with this because
Yes.
this is what the people want to know, Valerie. Do you have a Super Bowl pick?
I'm gonna go Kansas Chiefs.
Going with the Chiefs. You heard it
Just saying.
right
I
here.
would like the Seahawks.
They're not in it. I didn't even bust your chops about being
I
from
know.
from Tacoma,
But I'm from
Washington, and not
Washington,
picking
so
up pickleball until
I'm from
2018
Tacoma,
or whenever.
Washington. So
Yeah, you're from
yeah,
Washington
well,
and didn't
I
start
didn't
playing
know about
pickleball until
pickleball back in there. I was a
2022.
tennis player.
But now we play pickle and we like
I
pickle.
know.
All right, let me
Yeah,
get you out of
we
here on a
pickle. I even
Friday.
love pickles.
Hey, you should. I'm going to get you some Mickle's pickles. They're sending me some Mickle's
Mhm.
pickles. I just talked to the folks from Mickle's Pickles. So I'll get you out of here on a Friday so you
Perfect.
can
I would
get.
love some.
I will, and so you can get ready to go out to the Open. Now that the people know you're coming, you have to get ready and be ready
Thank
for the
you.
paparazzi. Go ahead and plug anything that you'd like
Yeah.
to as you head out for the weekend. And thank you again so much for joining me today. And I can't wait for us to play some more pickleball. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. I'm just excited to be on your show, and and if I can share my journey, to share my journey and to help people along the way, reach out to me. I've been away from social media for a little bit, but I'm coming back. I'm coming back stronger and faster, and with more content and good content. And I'm sorry to my race fans for sneaking in pickleball, because everybody's like, "Did you know what Valerie's doing now? She's playing pickleball. Do you know what she's doing now?" Like, so the chatter about pickleball. Now everything is pickleball. So I love it. But I'm still a racer at heart, and you can't take the racer out of the racer. I've been doing it for 20 years, and pickleball is a good journey, and I use pickleball as my fitness regimen, and now it's going to turn into, hopefully one day I can be a pro 50 plus player.
Well, I know that you're well on your way. You certainly have my support. I appreciate making some time. Thanks again. Valerie Thompson, Queen of Speed. Look for her around. Look for her journey on the pickleball court, because she's going to be making it. I'm Mickle Moore. Valerie, again, thank you so much. We'll talk again soon. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
You got it.
That was fun. All right. Have a great weekend.
Valerie, that was a lot of fun. And again, I appreciate you. You can hear our talk on the Mickle Pod, available on all major podcast apps. Check us out on YouTube at the Mickle Pod. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe and stay hydrated. I'll see y'all next time, right here for more